Okay, just for the sake of the video, I'm just going to make sure these answers are on there if you want to look through them later on. It's there. Okay, let's continue. This question was on one of the ACs. It just had different numbers. But in this case, it's a private sale. So use private. You use the car price, and it shows up again because the book value is only 15 grand, which is lower. So you will get taxed on, right? This is the PST portion that you're taxed on. And then the safety is 5%, and the parts and labor, which I calculated here, they just made it made its way into my formula, and lien doesn't get taxed, so this is what you got there. 20,715.43. B, how much would the car cost at a dealership? You will not need to pay for repair, parts, lien, and safety. So usually a dealer takes care of all of that. Guess what? They wouldn't be having that car on their lot if it had a lien on it. They make sure they don't get in trouble, right? Because that's what they're in the business for. So basically, you just take the price, right? Let's say you bought the same car at a dealer, and we're assuming it's the same price. It's times 1.12, and so this is what it is. So you still pay more at a dealer, even though you had to do all those extra repairs and costs that were associated with it. Can I give you an advice? If you buy a new car, it doesn't matter what the previous owner says. They did change all the oils, right? Change the engine oil, transmission, talk to a mechanic, because sometimes it's okay, but change all the fluids, change all the filters, do it, because you don't know if that owner has been doing it regularly. You want to make sure that it's done, right? So when you drive, you know your engine is not suffering, and you're looking for things like that. Make sure you take care of it. What I did is I bring it to a dealership. I'm mechanically inclined, so I do all my repairs, but I make them do a look, like, because they want to make money, right? So they're gonna try to find things. So you pay 70 bucks, and then they do a full inspection, and they're like, they give you a printed list, like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is getting bad, check this, check that. So then I can see, it's like, okay, now I know what to look for, right? And they'll be like, wait a minute, you don't want to repair it? It's like, no, I'm good. I'll think about it, you know? And then you walk off, right? And do it yourself, or find a mechanic, right? I'm sure if you ask around, you might know someone in the family or a friend that knows how to do things, and you might be surprised. You think, oh, this shop they're professionals, right? They'll do everything right, and not always, right? Oftentimes it's just, you know, an apprentice or someone that's learning how to do things, and they make mistakes too, right? So don't trust them blindly. Okay. All right. Linda bought a car to commute to college. The car's purchase price is $14,500. Highlight that. Diagnostics is 65. Safety is 60. Lien search is 22. In order to pass safety, Linda needs to replace 4 brake pads that cost $55 each. That's a joke, actually. I should change that. Brakes, if you do all 4 brakes at Canadian Tire, for example, you'll pay about $1,000, $800, depends. Like, if they have to replace the brakes and other components, it's quite expensive. But anyways, if the car was bought privately, calculate the total cost after tax if the book value is 15 grand. So you might have noticed that I stick with the 15 grand, right? So let's do that. Parts and labor. I'll do that on the side. 4 times 55. That's 220. And that's all we need to worry about there, but I do it on the side to not mix anything up. So it's used private. That's 14,500 plus 15,000 because the book value is greater. Then I'm using the book value to get the PST in there. Safety, $60 times 1.05. Parts and labor. Oh, I forgot the diagnostic. See that? I'm going to add that to my parts and labor here. So 285. That's what I get if I change my questions every year. I forget things. So 285 is really what the parts and labor is. Thank you, Joey. So it's 285 times 1.12 plus the lien, don't forget about it. So that's what it is. But don't think it's always going to be used. We're going to go back to new in a bit, okay? Where's my calculator? So 14,500 plus, I will start asking how much did you pay in taxes as well. I just memorized the 60 times 1.05, right? It's 63. 285 times 1.12 is 319.20, and the 22 gets tacked on the back. And so let's go ahead and add everything up. That's what you pay after tax. And remember, don't multiply this by 1.12, okay? Don't do it. This is already tax included, okay? If the car was bought at a dealer, they offer $6,200 for your trade-in. No repairs, safety, or lien needed. So used dealer, you start with a 14,500. You subtract the trade-in. You don't need any parts and labor. You don't need to worry about safety. Don't think it's always going to be the case, but now I'm right. And so you pay 12% on that, but make sure you do this first. Especially if your calculator doesn't have brackets, do this first. That's 9,296. This looks like a 6 here, but it's 0, 0. You don't need the 0.00, but if there is a 0.6 or a 0.3 or something, you need to add that 0 at the end. We're good? Okay. I think I'm gonna skip some of these questions for now because I'm looking at my time. I want to make sure we have the pros and cons filled out. So if you still want the answers, I can probably post them on Google Classroom. You okay, Con? So let's skip this for now. Let's go to page 13. Okay. At this point, you should have learned about purchasing a new vehicle and a used vehicle. List the advantages and disadvantages of both. So buying new, you can argue that it's safer. Latest safety features. You have like 300 airbags and right? No, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. It's not that bad, but you have a lot of safety features. You have like the lane departure. You have the automatic brakes, right? If you get too close, you have sensors all around. It's safer, right? Like they design them. You have a question? It's more operation. Can I say you can customize it. Okay. Customization. Right? You can get leather seats, heated seats, entertainment package, etc. Right? So you can actually customize, and I talked about it, right? Like I just saw an ad, Alfa Romeo. I don't know who drives an Alfa. I haven't seen one in a while, but you can just do everything online. You just click, 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 click. You make it, you put it together, and then you order it. It's just like Amazon almost, right? I'm just gonna order, you know, uh, a fidget spinner or whatever. They make it seem so easy, right? But anyways, you can customize. That is the big thing. Um, More fuel efficient. They're more fuel efficient. And I'm going to keep it at that. I might add some later. Let's talk about disadvantages. Higher depreciation cost. You lose a lot more than if you bought a used one. That is a fact, right? Costs more to insure. Make sure you write this down, and you should have a short little list on your study sheet, maybe summarizing it, but you should be able to explain costs more to insure. And obviously we're comparing this to a used, right? I'm running blank here. Let me see. Oh yeah, you pay freight. I'm gonna keep it at that, and then we're gonna go to used. Uh, let's add this to new. Lower maintenance. Would you agree with that? If it's a brand new vehicle, you have like you won't have to worry about brakes in a long time. You won't have to worry about shocks, springs, anything like that for a long, long time. Engine, right? It'll just run smooth. So lower maintenance costs. Uh, Also because of warranty, right? Warranty is always included with new vehicles. So, and now they're getting fancy where it's even like oil changes are included for some packages, like Mitsubishi. I heard an ad on that for 2 years. They will do all of that as well. Let's go to used quickly before you go. We have 6 minutes. I can get some of these. Used advantage, lower depreciation, cost. And you will see I'm using the disadvantage of new, cheaper to insure. Lower registration fees. Lower taxes if bought privately. That is a big if. But you have the potential to uh, pay less taxes. Disadvantage, potential higher maintenance, not as safe. Yeah. Right. So, but right now we're just looking at used in general. So I would just leave that as a disadvantage, but you are right. You can be scammed. There's no reputation that that seller needs to uphold, right? A dealer is like, their name. Hold on. Not as fuel efficient. Because right now, everybody's boasting about, you know, even hybrid, right, or whatever. And this is what I'm going to add, which alludes to your comment, potential hidden damage. That is huge, right? There could be potential hidden damage that you're not aware of. And I will show you some videos where you can do a smart purchase just by looking at a few things as you walk around, as you test drive. Okay.